man, are we ready to go to camp? Yeah!
What are you doing? You gotta put the brake. No, push it down.
It's a rental. It's only because I know how to drive.
So me and Mike were swimming out to what they call the blob. It is literally a blob of air on the water where they launch people. And so this one kid that was going before me didn't have anybody launch him. I told him, sure, yeah, I'll do it. And so he gets down there and I go, and as soon as I hit the blob, he lets out this unearthly scream of terror, and it was amazing because he flew almost 7 feet in the air and then splashed down in the water.
There was another girl on the trip, and she hadn't really been involved in church much. Like, her parents didn't take her to church, and she really didn't have a relationship with God. And so my favorite part of this week was watching her grow and like watching the people around us bring her closer and closer in, and watching her grow in her relationship with God. And that made me realize a lot about like my relationship with God, and like how I really have an influence on other people's lives, and how I can be a spiritual leader for those other people, and how maybe I want to be closer with Him, and not only just be closer with Him and myself, but lead other people towards Him.
One of the best parts about going to Forest Home every year is that at the beginning of the week, you can see the loss of hope in people's eyes, because they come with looking for answers and looking for prayer. And throughout the week, I've seen people get their prayers answered. And by the end of the week, a majority of the room, when worship comes along, has their hands up in the air just praising the Lord. And they're into it with all of their heart.
Thursday night, our last night, we got our curfew extended. Or we hiked down to a place called Inspiration Point.
And since there weren't that many city lights, you could see so many stars, and we saw shooting stars out there, and it was so peaceful, and you felt completely connected to God.
It was truly an eye-opener, because I was laying down on one of the tables, just looking up, and I could see the stars.
And so some of us started singing like a cappella, and then we brought out our guitars and started dancing and singing.
Another thing on Wednesday night during the worship experience, you had to pick up a rock around the lake. The rock, it was symbolizing our sins and all of our things that were bad within us. And it meant like how much of a pain it was to carry those around.
And taking that rock and chucking it as far into the lake as you can, and feeling that weight be lifted off your shoulders.
I released all of that energy into that one throw to get rid of it all into the lake, or, in other words, to God.